Hello everyone, I am Amanda. I am a Ditto educator, and today I'm going to give you a little Ditto demo. We're going to go over what you get in the box, how to use the pattern website as well as the app. Just some notes, this is live, so if I have any issues, please just hold tight. If you have any issues or you can't watch the whole thing, it will be posted after the fact, so stay tuned. We do want you to ask questions. This demo is for anyone who is new to Ditto, or if you're considering buying one, or if you have one and you have questions. So please put your comments in the comment section or your questions, and me or a teammate will get back to you. So let's get started. So behind me is Ditto. It is this beam, cutting mat, projector, and some accessories. I currently have this beam already set up in my space, but it is very portable. It breaks down into two pieces right here and just screws together. Do ignore my camera. That is so I can have an overhead shot, but that is not part of Ditto. Nothing needs to be screwed into the ceiling or the wall or the floor. It is on this tension mounted beam. The projector is on here and slides up and down to get the right distance to your table. You do need a minimum of 7.5 feet from floor to ceiling, maximum 10 feet. And I currently have about 58 inches from projector to table, and that's about the minimum that you want to have. So I know we get that question a lot, what is my table to projector? And this does slide, but there are minimums and maximums. So that is a little bit about this beam and the projector that's connected here. It also comes with this little level that sits on the beam, and that's just going to help you get it steady once you get it into place. And like I said, mine is permanent in my sewing room. So I have it against the wall with my table up, so it doesn't take up much space at all. But if you're someone who doesn't have a dedicated space, this is super easy to set up in about 10 minutes in your kitchen table, dining room, wherever you do your sewing. It's also portable, so you could take it places, ditto with a friend, whatever you want to do. So once you get your beam set up with the projector connected, you also get this calibration mat. And this mat folds up, so again, also portable, but lays very flat once you have it on your space. And you're going to use this mat to calibrate. You can cut on it, or if you have a mat you really like using, you can switch it out after you calibrate. But this mat is for calibration and is very important, so you get the exact right size of your pattern on your table. You're also going to get a rotary cutter, as well as 4 pattern weights. And these weights are really awesome, really heavy. Everyone really loves them. You'll also get instructions on how to set up, as well as a little card with a QR code, and that's going to get you 3 months free of your subscription. So definitely make sure to check that out and open that box and find that QR code and test out some patterns. So that's everything that's going to come in the box and get you started. And the next thing I want to share with you is the website. And this is where you're going to go to download your patterns to your pattern library, where you're going to customize them if they're a Ditto pattern. If you want to adjust the size, that you can also do on the Ditto patterns. So give me one moment to switch over to my screen and I'm going to show you that. All right, so here is our website. And like I said, this is where you're going to shop your patterns. So there's a few ways to shop patterns. I'm going to just click on here, patterns. So we have women's, men's, kids, crafts, all kinds of things, and we're adding all the time. Sometimes we're adding third-party patterns that you would know, like Simplicity, Style Arc. We just started working with Little Lizard King, so if you make kids' clothes, we started adding some of their patterns. So I'm going to click on women's patterns because today I want to solely focus on the Ditto patterns, the Ditto branded patterns. And those are any you see here, this Abby dress, those are any that say Ditto. The reason I want to focus on those is because those are the ones that you can adjust the pattern the measurements in the pattern, and some of them you can even customize the style. So let me find one here. Let's try this one, this Agnes top. This is a Ditto pattern. You can see above Agnes top it says Ditto. There is a range of sizes, and I'm going to show you in a moment how you adjust your measurements once you pick a base measure or a base size. But what I wanted to show you about this pattern is some of the Ditto patterns will have this little bubble here in the upper left of the photo that says customizable. And that means that you can adjust things like neckline, sleeves, hems. It depends, but you'll be able to play around with the style of your garment. So let me pick a different sleeve here, and as you can see, it changes the picture so I know exactly what kind of garment I'm getting. As you move down, it'll give you a little detail about what type of fabric. This is a woven. It'll also give you fabric recommendations and any notions you're going to need. It'll also tell you based on your width of fabric, the yardage you will need as well. So let me show you how you do your measurements on this. So here is the women's size chart. And it's really important when you enter your measurements with Ditto that you start with a base size that is closest to your measurements. So if you're between a few sizes, pick one that's either in between or at the top of the range, but you want to be as close to your measurements as possible. That's going to help the system get you a really good pattern. So you can see here, our women's patterns go up to a size 28 currently. So here, I'm going to pick a size that is closest to me. And also, when you're entering your measurements, be sure to actually read that size chart, because what you are in one store might be different than another, and the same goes for Ditto. Check our measurement profile or our size chart, and you'll see that it might be slightly different than another pattern you're used to. So go off of our size chart. We have a really great tutorial on YouTube on how to take your measurements and how to enter them in there. So I picked my base size. I'm going to do this as demo, add to pattern library. All right, so now that shirt is in my pattern library here. You can see it on the left. And this pattern library has all my patterns that I've downloaded. There's a few ways to have patterns in your pattern library. As I talked about, that subscription, you can subscribe monthly, that's $9.99 a month, or $99.99 for the year. And that subscription gives you access to all the Ditto patterns. Any of the third-party patterns, Style Arc, Simplicity, those are going to be a separate cost per pattern. So you can check out our pattern library, what those are, but then you own those and you own all the sizes that that pattern maker provides. All right, so I'm going to hit size customization. And here you can see, hold on one moment. As you can see here, I must have not clicked the right size, so it's saying size 0. But I do want to show you this size customization either way. There's some red things that I will change, but so you can enter your measurements directly into each pattern here. For women's, there are 17 points of measurements. If you're confused on what something may mean, like you're not really sure what the bust height to center back neck point is, you can click that little question mark, and that is going to explain to you how to take that measurement. Again, we also have on our YouTube channel a video exactly how to take those measurements. So you can enter them here. You can also make profiles. So as you can see here, you can save measurements. So I can click one of these and it'll automatically populate the measurements in there. And now I'm going to show you how to make those profiles. I'll give it a second. There we go. So in my profiles here, I can go to my account. Oh. I'm jumping around, sorry everyone. All right. Here we go. Measurement profiles. All right, so here are those measurement profiles that you just saw on that screen. And you can create a new one. You'll enter a name. you'll pick, so you can make profiles for men, women, children. You're going to start with a standard size, no matter what. And as you can see here, that takes you to the same exact measurement profile page with the same exact measurements. So I could save this and it'll add it to my profile there, my list. All right. And then I want to go back to my library here. All right. And here's one I'm going to show you just because that other shirt, the standard size, didn't save. But you saw it said size customization. Also, once you add a customization to a shirt or a garment, you can edit the fit at any time. So if I hit edit fit, I can put in the profile, or I can adjust, so I can change this and hit save. And it'll update it and it'll say when it was last modified. You can see there, that's the date. And all the information's there. So once you adjust your measurements for your Ditto patterns, this is when we're going to move to the app. So I'm going to click here. This is the app. It's got these great tiles where you can shop fabric, shop Ditto patterns. Tutorials will take you to some pages. This is really great if you're unsure how to set up or take down your Ditto, as well as calibration. Right there in the app. So I'm going to go to my pattern library, and as you can see, this is the same library that you just saw on the website. It's now in the app. And what I really love about the app is that I can take this with me shopping. So all of my patterns are with me in my pocket as I shop. And we'll give that a second to load. Whenever you add a pattern or you open up your app, sometimes you have to sync it. It does take a moment just to check your pattern library and make sure everything's up to date. So I'm going to give this a moment. If not, I'll click on another pattern. This is happening because I just updated it. So maybe I will go click on one that is already good to go. All right, so this is a pattern that I downloaded a little while ago, but as you can see in the upper right, it has the size. I know when it was adjusted, a little information about the pattern, and then I can click here for my yardage and notions. Again, really great when you are shopping to have all that information right there in your pocket. Also, the instructions are here, so you can download these from the website, or you can have them right here in the app as you are sewing. And this is going to give you all the information you need on how to put your garment together. It is very beginner friendly. And like I said, on YouTube, we also have some tutorials. So I do some step-by-step tutorials of some of these garments. So if you're new to sewing or new to garment making, or you're just not sure how to do a specific step, you can always go to our YouTube channel and check out some of those things. So this is the workspace here, and this is where all the magic happens. I'm going to select all these in clear. So in the upper left, you will see the name of the garment. Underneath, there are buttons for tutorials, sewing instructions. Those are the same that I just showed you. Just these are basically shortcuts to those. Sorry, one moment. Those are just shortcuts to that PDF, as well as that little tile of tutorials. Okay. And then this is, again, working through this workspace. You have your pattern pieces here. They are on your right. If you click reference layout, that is going to tell you how to lay out your pattern pieces as you work based on the width of your fabric. Here's our pattern pieces. You also have little buttons. You'll see them light up once I move a piece over like this. So to move a piece, you just grab it and drop it. You can see here. All right. If I want to do things like mirror them, I can just hit mirror and it'll flip it. I can also, oh, this one's too big to rotate. Let's clear that one and bring in something smaller. But if you want to rotate a piece, we also have these. This is a new feature that just came out recently. So make sure if you don't have that 45-degree rotate that you update your app. But you're able to move this around as needed, and then you can kind of just bring these in here however you want. And again, I'm not looking at that reference, but you can totally look at that reference and get these kind of puzzle pieced how you like them. And I'm going to hit send to projector. And I'm going to take a moment to turn off my lights so you can see a little bit better and bring this up. All right, so everyone should be able to see this now. Here we go. So that just projected what is on my screen here. And I did turn down my lights, but there is some light coming into this room. So if you are, you know, concerned about having windows in your room, it's not a problem. I have 2 windows in here, and how this looks over some various fabrics. So this is, you know, with a simple lighter fabric of white. You can easily see the projection here. Here is black as well. So it really does show up. I mean, it's a little fainter, but it really does show up on everything. You can see everything very clearly as you're cutting. And same with prints. So I wanted to just show you. I'll just start on maybe this piece. So you could lay out all your pieces or just do them one at a time. And the great thing is you can cut, because you have that mirror feature, you are able to cut either single or double layer, whatever you prefer. For this demo, I'm just going to show you this little piece here. You would lay your weights down to hold your fabric in place and get out your rotary cutter, and you can then just start going. And you can see I can still see the And I didn't show you calibration, but the calibration of this projector is very easy. It's as simple as taking a photo. So you'll see, I will show you right now. On my screen here, directly under the pattern pieces, there is a calibrate button. If you click that, it's going to walk you through the steps with the projection on it, and it'll immediately calibrate it. So you don't have to play with, you know, percentages or anything like that. It's all done for you with just taking a photo on your device. And I don't know if I said this before, but the devices used are iOS or Android. So you can use an iPad, you can often. So somebody asked a question, with the pattern projection, are you supposed to cut right side or wrong side of the fabric? Christy, that is kind of the amazing thing with Ditto, is you can make that choice for yourself. I find sometimes when I'm doing, you know, a stripe or a plaid, I want to cut it facing up so I can see exactly everything I'm cutting, or if you have something with specific pattern, because what I'm going to do, and I hope you can see my screen here, say I want to just flip these all, so I can just turn them around. If you're, so if I'm cutting these one piece at a time, or I want to, something is specific left side only, I can just mirror my pieces. Here we go. Here, I'll get rid of that one. All right, and send it. So you can see there how pieces over there. You can just move it over and hit send to projector, and it'll just shift everything for you right away, really easy. But as you can see, I just cut, this was the piece I just cut, and now it's that in reverse. So it's really easy to cut either right side or wrong side, whatever your preference is, because you can see the lines just go right on top of your fabric. We got a question from Paula. Does the mat have to be close to the pole? I would love to move my mat about 10 up. So Paula, I do believe that you do need to keep it semi-close, Especially for calibration, it's going to set down a red rectangle to calibrate. So you are gonna need to at least get your mat close to the beam when you do your calibration. But I would say that if you wanna be a little further out, once you are calibrated and you start putting your pattern pieces down, just slide your mat down and make sure that when you are adding pieces to your workspace, I hope you can see this, bottom of your workspace. So here now, I would say that there's about 8 to 10 inches from my beam to my cutting mat, and these pieces are still on here. So you wouldn't be able to cut, you wouldn't be able to move the image down, but you can cut in this area kind of centered underneath your projector. I hope that answered your question, Paula. Awesome. All right. So one other thing I wanted to show you, because we went over the mirroring and the rotate, and so a lot of times we get questions on how do I cut something that's bigger than the mat, because right now your projected space is 24 by 36 inches. So we have what we call splicing. And splicing, you're going to work one piece at a time, so you can't add any other pieces to your mat, but you project part of it, which I'm going to do now. Give that a minute to show up. Great. So you project part of it. And again, I just cut a piece of this out, so I can't quite show you. But you see here, there's these red circles that project onto your fabric. So you're also given, with your Ditto, a set of white and red stickers. So depending on what color, just place your stickers on those red circles. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, well, first thing I'm going to do is I would cut this out. So another way you could do this, and this is really helpful if you're someone who prefers to trace your image and then cut, but I would just cut or trace my piece here, and I'm working fast because I wanted to show you, and this is just a piece of fabric for me, exactly the way it wants to set up. So then I'm going to hit send to projector, and it just shifted that for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my fabric so that my stickers line back up with those circles again. And as you can see here, this has lined up again. So if I had more fabric, I would be able to show you how you would just easily cut that out. So that's how splicing and how cutting larger pieces with Ditto works. Are there any questions? Let me see. I'm sure of like, oh, I haven't been able to watch this, or my internet cut out. This will be available on YouTube and Facebook right after, or sometime today. So you can always come back and check this video if you have any questions. We're still monitoring the comments even after this is posted. So feel free to ask us more questions after this demo. If there aren't any other questions, I'm going to wrap up, but I hope that, give me one moment to put my lights on. All right, so I hope that that was helpful for anyone who is interested in Ditto, or if you've recently bought one. I hope that you are excited about this and all the things you can do with it. Currently, we have over 800 patterns already on our website, and that includes the third-party patterns as well as our Ditto patterns. I know women's patterns alone, we have over 400 are the women's Ditto patterns. So there's lots of styles to choose from. And I will say, if you are interested in what's coming in the future, or join the Ditto thread on Facebook. That is our Facebook group. It's very community-based. A lot of people are answering questions for others. It's a really great, fun group to kind of share what you're making with Ditto, get your questions answered, as well as just get like inspired by what people are making. And we also post our updates there as well as on our email newsletter. And those, we have new patterns that come at the end of every single month, so the email is the best way to know about updates as well as those new Ditto drops and those new patterns. So with that, everyone, for watching. And again, any other comments or questions you have, just put in those in the comments and someone on the team will get to you. You can also send stuff to customer service. All right, thanks everyone. Have fun dittoing.